Welcome to Toffee TV. It is the final words. Everton 0, Manchester City 2. This video is sponsored by OneFootball. OneFootball's app makes it easier to find all the latest stats, scores and all the latest news in one place. To download the OneFootball app, click the link in the description. Joe, I seen you at Goodison last night with your Man City top on.
I
seen you. You were full. You had the sunglasses and everything.
When I got off at Kirkdale, I wanted Everton to smash them.
But beforehand, was it like?
Oh, I don't know. I was so unsure.
Mixed emotions.
Yeah, it's definitely mixed emotions. Yeah.
Joined by Joe, by the way.
You see, yeah, I've just introduced them.
Well, you didn't. You just told people they had the City kit on with shinies and everything.
Start the thing the right way. Do you know?
I seen the picture on social media with the badge with the City kit.
Whoa!
It was next to you. You didn't have it on.
What did I have on?
An Everton top. Yeah. The City was next. You got set up, didn't you?
No, he changed it. It's just changed. He's not going to wear it in the studio, is he? You know what he's about.
Listen, if stuff like that, you know who's meddling and who's behind it. It's like the pesky kids off Scooby-Doo. Yeah. The caretaker he is.
That's not so good. Caretakers and pesky kids. Yeah, another defeat.
Yeah.
But I suppose, you know, the manner of the way we played last night gives fans a little bit of comfort, because we actually had players who tried and run round and looked like they were putting a shift in for the team, for the fans and for the manager.
Yeah, give some fans comfort, others don't want the comfort, I don't think. But again, it's your own, isn't it? Yeah, I just thought all I would look at is what did you expect before the game, and what did you actually get?
Yeah.
So after Wolves, I was worried. You worried that with half an hour to go against Wolves, we showed absolutely nothing.
Yeah. There was fight there.
There was no fight. There was no organisation.
There
was no one prepared to take a chance.
Yeah.
It was like they couldn't get off the pitch quick enough. So you're playing against who I consider the best team in the country. You know, with loads of ability to carve your open, and you're looking and thinking, it could be 5 this. Because Wolves had scored 3 and blah, blah, blah. And, you know, obviously Marco Silva made changes, and the players come out and battle for every ball, I thought, and, you know, showed a lot of desire, showed a lot of fight. And listen, you can't kid the crowd. The crowd's reaction tells you what the team did. So people can be angry and be on social media and say we're crap and we've lost this and we've lost that and we've lost the other, but the crowd, the fans who were in the ground last night, I'd say all of them virtually were behind the team and let the team know they were behind them and backed them and appreciated their efforts. Okay, we lacked quality, but fighting, battling and commitment and showing that they actually cared about the shirt, I thought that was all on show last night. Yeah,
well, we've had plenty of quality in the side recently, but if it can't get results and it doesn't work hard, then what's the point? You know, last night he changed it up a little bit, but John Joe Kenny at right back, but Tom Davies in midfield, made him the captain. You know, Dominic was up front, and I thought those 3 players led the charge for us last night. Not saying they were brilliant in terms of technically being brilliant, but what has the alternative been recently? The alternative has been players that on paper are supposed to be better players. Yeah, I've not worked hard, I've not set the tone, and I thought those 3 players last night. Tom Davies,
he was excellent. Yeah,
but he typified what it was to be a captain last night.
Yeah.
That position,
led by example, didn't he?
That position is what I feel his position is, and this is what I think has gone missing in the last 2 years. For me, he's always been the tip of a 3 in midfield, or not a split striker, because he's not. He hasn't only got the technical ability to be considered a striker, but he's the one who's got to be pressing from the front. If you're going to play a high pressing game, which we were supposed to be, and we were up till December, you've got to have someone going from the front, hit the centre forward and the one behind them, working from the front. And I thought Tom did that brilliantly last night. And for everyone, you know, doesn't think he's good enough, I think last night he showed he is good enough. He's just been far too consistent in the last couple of years.
Inconsistent
for the last couple of years. But that's I've always thought that's because when he plays in that deeper role, he just gets lost in the game, and his passing mightn't be up to the levels that he
tries to play forward though, doesn't he?
He does, but I think it's lost there. I don't think he's got the technical ability to play in that role. I don't think in that role, someone like a Gomez, where it's lot. It's all about getting the ball and giving the ball and then getting it back and being comfortable. Tom, I think, is far too aggressive in his manner. He wants to get it and then find the forward pass straight away, and a lot of the times it gets cut out, and because of where he's playing, that leads them to get on the charge then, and I think that role is where he's much more suited. Is he got a long-term career in the Everton team playing that role? I don't know, but I know last night, and maybe for some parts of the rest of the season, that should be where he is played.
But he was making runs past Calvert-Lewin last night, wasn't he? Davis, and that all changed when Sigurdsson come on.
Yeah, because he wants to. That's what I'm saying. When you do that further back, I think his runs. He's running then to an area of the park where he's not needed, or there's somebody else. So he's suited to that role, and he's got so much energy about him that's where I think it helps most. Getting on centre backs, okay, maybe not the Man City centre backs, just they're so comfortable on the ball. But other centre-backs of other teams are not going to be as comfortable. And if he does that against the likes of Watford, centre-backs on Saturday, he's going to get change out of them. Yeah. He's going to get change out of them. And, I think, we're far too keen to judge young players on when they come in maybe too quick on whether they're going to be, the next big thing, but also when they have a dip. And listen, last night was, just one performance. But I think that and Huddersfield, when Huddersfield he played a similar position, didn't he? He played in a similar position. Whereas then on Saturday against Wolves, he's dropped deeper, and I can't understand why anyone thinks that that's his role, because it's not. It's not his position, as far as I'm concerned.
He's way too aggressive for it, isn't he?
Well, I think he can play there, but then I think he needs someone ahead of him who's equally mobile. Sigurdsson's not mobile enough.
No, he's not.
So if Gylfi's going to play,
he's got to play deep.
He's got to play where Gomez plays. Yeah. But then Gomez moves the ball quicker than Sigurdsson, but I don't know, it's a conundrum, because you're right, when Davis doesn't play there and Gylfi plays there's no movement. Gylfi's just, you seen it last night when he came on, he's very static. I'm not saying he doesn't run around, because he does, but it's not the same way. And he doesn't transition the ball as quick as Tom.
No,
you know what I mean?
Tom's much more positive, isn't he, in the way he plays the ball? I think
he's just youthful, so it's just get it forward. There's the pass, and he can see it. We've seen that last season with the Nias, when Nias come into the team, the goal against Bournemouth, that pass just dissected them. We need that.
Defense,
do you know what I mean? We need that enthusiasm and energy. But then again, he's got to produce that level.
That's got to be every week now, hasn't it?
Benchmark last night, the same as John Joe Kenny and the same as Dominic Calvert-Lewin. And if they fall below that, they can't moan if they're not in the team.
What I would say about Gylfi is, to be honest, I'm not writing him off, and there'll be a lot of people out there watching who'll say, look at the chances he's created, look at the chances he's scored.
Stats are very good, aren't they?
I think if you were to say put Lukaku in when he was at Everton with Gylfi Sigurdsson, Gylfi Sigurdsson would look up there.
Levels, right?
I think some of his passes at times look worse than they are, because we don't have a centre forward who appreciates them. And I think he would work so much better with a mobile striker. I think one of Gylfi's problems is that we don't have that striker at Everton that will make that run that Gylfi Sigurdsson can find a lot of the time. So it's almost like it's taking one step back for us by not having Gylfi in the team. I still think he's massively capable. I think if Gylfi went to a club where there was that kind of striker, I think you'd get a lot more out of him. Or we had a top striker. It's just that this is where we are. This is where we are. This is where we are with a lot of people. Will say last night, all he did was try and work hard. Where's the quality? Well, we've seen the quality. The quality isn't prepared to work hard, and at the moment we need performances where our players just dig in. Because when you look at the teams we've lost to in this run, okay, there's some good teams in there, but there's also some absolute dross that if we just match them, that's like a Brighton and like
a battle with them,
like a Leicester. If we got Southampton, if we'd gone into those games and really just said, and we've said this on every single video we've done. If we'd gone into those games going, no, today we're going to match you, and then that little bit of quality we hope we have, whether it's on the pitch or comes off the bench, we'll beat you. And that's what we are at the moment, and it's all right saying, we're nowhere near City and We're not. We're nowhere near City. We're nowhere near City. But at the moment, that's not the task. The task isn't jumping from 1 to 10.
Yeah,
the task is going up through the levels. And
this is a long-term process, isn't it?
It is, but you've got to get the basics right first.
Yeah.
And this is what I've always had. This is the problem that I've had with not only Silva, but with Koeman and Martinez. I've had this problem with them. Whereas, like, if you need a game where you go, today we're just going to have to battle, we don't have it in us.
Yeah.
Whereas last night I thought, well, we had a little bit more of that. And you just mentioned John Joe Kenny was another one. He came into the team last night and I thought he was brilliant. Yeah. I think he deserved to be in the side after what he'd done at left back in the last couple of weeks. And I just thought he typified that performance. He didn't give Sane a kick. He was always first to the ball. He made sure if he didn't get the ball,
aerial duels as well.
Yeah, he did. What he did was he made sure that, and this is basically what we're talking about when we talk about the set pieces. Is he made sure that if he didn't win the ball, the player he was up against didn't have an easy free header, and that's all it takes sometimes. If you go into a 50-50 and you're not going to win it,
let the player know.
You don't give him a free ride. You just get into him.
Yeah.
So that if he does win the header, the fella next to you just picks it up.
Yeah.
That's basic football defending. If you don't give anyone an easy time of it. So I thought he did his job. He did all right going forward as well.
I thought Garner was very professional last night, considering the move that went on.
I don't think you're going to have a problem with Garner.
Yeah.
I don't think he's that type of player. I think
apparently he was coming out that he was angry and stuff like that, and that performance didn't show that one bit today.
At the end of the day, he can't go nowhere, can he?
No, of course.
So basically, the best thing he can do is play well for Everton.
Play for the move.
Play well for Everton, and then see if they're interested again in the summer. At the end of the day, if he wants to be angry, he should be angry with PSG for leaving it until the last minute to get him. Yeah. So they really wanted him. They'd have come in with the money when it first got broached, wouldn't it? So I don't think you'd have any issue with Garner. I think Garner just will play his game and do his job until he's not here, and then he goes somewhere else.
Yeah.
I don't think there's any. He did play well last night.
Yeah.
I think most of the players played well last night. I think there was probably only, without going overboard, but it was probably Theo who didn't really hit his level. Everybody else, I thought, did a good game.
Would you say Zuma?
I thought Zuma does. The goal was shocking, but other than that, I thought he'd done all right.
Yeah.
I thought we started well. It was a strange. It was like a very strange atmosphere in the ground. It was a lot of So 5 minutes before kick-off, the place looked empty, and then it filled up, and it was quite subdued. And City got on the ball, which you'd imagine, and dominated the ball, but they just didn't do that much with it. I know they hit the bar and they had a couple of little bits and bobs, but I thought we grew, and then I thought what you've seen was the tactics started to come out. Trying to get on the break, trying to get Dom into the channels.
And I thought the crowd responded.
Yeah, and I thought once the game got going, any of this notion of Everton fans wanting them to win, and we've seen loads of lies in fucking.
Oh, the picture.
Not the Daily Mail have reported that Everton fans were celebrating.
Yeah. There's no celebration at the moment.
Robbie Fowler, think he said I was there. That's bollocks.
Yeah.
So I thought we got into it and we started making a couple of chances. Bernardo had that header that was just pushed wide by the defender. We got into the game and I just thought we were very competitive. And that's it's so annoying. I think maybe one of the parts, I don't know if you agree with me, it's almost that idea that when we're at Goodison recently, that it's the onus is on us.
Yeah.
So it's slow. But last night, because we were defending a lot more, there was more aggression because we had to have aggression because we're up against Man City. We're up against a team that can move it really, really well, and we had to have discipline and aggression because we were up against such a good team. And I don't know whether that brought that more aggression out of us, but the fact that we didn't have the ball that much actually helped us in a strange way last night. I thought.
I think he got his tactics right. I think the players the players done what was asked of them. I thought they filled in for each other. I thought they pressed brilliantly, and that was Davis set the example with that. There was a couple of times we almost nicked the ball off the back foot. Stones hit a couple and that's Mendy.
Yeah. The keeper as well though, Ederson.
Ederson had he was flapping a little bit. There was one where if Gomez would have hit it, the move, it needed to be hit straight away. And by the time he delayed and laid it off, it was offside, and the referee pulled it back. The referee was absolutely atrocious as well. We nicked the ball a couple of times on the edge of their box, and he gave free kicks that would never work. So I thought we'd done okay there. Obviously, a big threat. What I thought was good was Calvert-Lewin deciding to knock it past the defender and run after it
Yeah.
because he had the pace, and he got in a couple of times and his cutbacks just weren't right, but he worried them. And I was thinking to myself watching it, this is what you should be doing to everybody. These are the creme de la creme. So if you were doing this to Wolves and you were doing this to Watford and Southampton, you'd have destroyed them. You play every week because I know. Listen, I've been critical of him because I think he doesn't possess a great goal threat. But if he's a handful like that, other people will score the goal, or he'll get chances.
It's that comes from aggression, though. Dominic Calvert-Lewin knows that, and when he plays Man City, he always gives them a game. Always.
So we should give everybody.
That's what I'm saying. So
I think the same for Tom Davies.
That's in his head, that he knows that he'll give them a game. He'll run them. He did it last year. He scored against them this season. He knows that he will run them. And you're right. If he did that in every single game, showed that aggression, run from the front, and again, this might be a fact that we didn't have the ball that much last night, so we had to. And because their centre backs do have the ball quite a lot, there's always that. Well, I can, and if Tom pushes up, then suddenly we're pressing them back.
But he looked more dangerous, basically going from our half.
Yeah, he did.
Right. So when teams come to Goodison, that's when we can draw them out and then play one in behind for him to go.
Is that because last night Silva had to abandon his typical tactics because he knew
there was a long ball option there, though,
so that we went back to basics, and because we went back to basics, and because that was literally the tactic to go back to basics, everyone was a little bit more comfortable with that and just did their jobs. Because
if that's the case, right, then he needs to be bright enough to look and go, right,
we need to mix.
Let's swerve this now until the summer. That's ultimately the way I want to play. There's the best version of it in front of your eyes.
With the players that I've got,
right? The opposition we played last night are the perfect at it. They draw you in and they just go bip, 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 and they're up the pitch.
And they're not afraid to play a long ball over the top as well.
But they're not afraid to roll it back. And for Ederson, the amount of times he smashes it long is incredible for a team who plays the ball out. Why can't we do that?
Exactly.
So we have to be. We done a video about trying to become Atletico Madrid. Well, what we should be now is Man City light. So we should be. Yeah, we'll play some of that, but you know what? Next time,
I don't even think whatever Man City ladies like.
No. Well, whatever. But I'm saying, you can play that nice little passion moving football, but don't be afraid to turn the defenders.
Hit the channel,
because if you mix stuff up, we've said it before, a mix of
confusion, opposition, aren't you?
I think the difference is that if you really want to talk about, the differences between the teams are night and day. Let's get that right. But I think one of the main differences is that when their players have the ball, seen this on. If you want to talk about who will Man City light, I think at the moment we played them on Saturday.
Yeah, but they're not.
No, I know, but what I'm saying is, Wolves were brilliant on Saturday.
They were brilliant.
What they did really well was, and this is why I'm saying what Man City is. They knew when to go long and when to go short, and there wasn't any deliberation in it. And last night, that's part of our game is. We have too many times. You can see the cogs ticking in players' heads.
You know what they're doing.
Should I pass it? Should I pass it to him? It's not off the cuff, is it? It never feels off the cuff with us. No one ever goes,
I've got a plan in place.
Go. Know what I mean? Make that run.
Yeah.
Like I seen it on Saturday with Walcott, and I know people mightn't like him, but the amount of times he wants over the top, and nobody gives him it. So is he gonna stop doing that? Players have to get into their heads. Dominic Calvert-Lewin has to get on the shoulder and go, 9 times out of 10 I'm going to go and never get the ball. He's got to do it. Players have got to be prepared to do it over the top, and that's what there isn't that in our team. There's just not that enough of that. Bang, it's gone. Bang, it's gone. Whereas them last night, it was almost like they've got signals.
But
that's coaching, that's working, that's playing.
You're talking about but when you watch the City doc,
but it's also
that's what he's doing every day.
But I think what it also is though, when the keeper gets it, they know where it's going because he's such a good passer. That's a
top pick for this one.
Remember the St. Tossin goal against Palace at home? Keane just knocks it over the top. St. Tossin's an own goal.
But that's what I'm saying. With them, it's so. If like Saturday, it's worked. It's
but if you'd have cut Pep off 4 months, 5 months into his,
I'm not talking about that. What I'm saying is though, that's one of the parts of our game that's got to get better. Is just that knowing,
most definitely.
Get faster in the play. Try something. If it doesn't work, it hasn't worked. But then at least the player will go, "Oh, is he going to do that again? Is he? I'll go for that."
We even had the situation last night where in it was the first half, we got a throw in twice, and Dean and Keane and Zuma came up for the long throw.
Yeah, that's something they've started doing. Dean started doing
long throw, and he was getting
throws.
flick on, so
Yeah.
I was thinking,
That's
Ghana was just dropping it.
Yeah.
So you were like, well, alright, there's a little bit of a mix then. That's a little bit different.
Southampton at home, first game, first
they
game
started-
of the season, wasn't it?
Dean started
that little
doing-
free kick move.
Dean started doing
stuff's
that.
getting worked
It's
on.
just getting all of that
Dean
stuff.
started doing a lot more. But I mean, obviously, listen, we got to the end of the half. It was only a minute, wasn't it, on the board?
And he played.
And somehow
We gave a free
we give a stupid free kick away again. Stupid free kick.
And you felt the ground then, didn't you?
Well, it's not even that though. Listen, it's not about that. It's a giving another free kick away in the last minute of a half.
If we're not good to defend them, don't give them away.
It's not even that though. It's concentration. It's almost like when that ball goes up, everyone shuts off. You play the game to the whistle, and
It's an unnecessary free kick to give away.
well, it is. But
Yeah.
it's free kick. It's not about being unnecessary. It's about being in the right place. You know, that free kick's been given away in the 46th minute, and part of that is because the brains are elsewhere. They've started thinking about, we've done this already. We've got
Let's
through
get in
this.
at half time, yeah.
And that's, the free kick, again, there's nothing fancy about it at all. There's nothing.
It's
You
the
do a
ball
little
in the
stop.
box, isn't
He
it?
does a little stop.
Stutter.
Does a little stutter, which shouldn't
Move
anybody. It
Yeah.
should just be, okay, sound. And then he floats it in. And again, it's like Saturday. I'm looking at Zuma like I looked at Coleman.
I just watched Zuma.
And you're looking at them, and they're almost... It's this idea of nothing's instinctive. Zuma is almost trying to make sure he's in the right place without actually reacting to the
where
ball.
The ball is, yeah.
And that's criminal. That shows to me that they're not working on it enough. It's not getting drilled into them every single day enough. The players are not taking it on board what they should do. The first thing that Zuma should be looking to do is win that ball. Simple as that.
Be aggressive and
And
challenge
when
it,
that ball lands on the porter's head, it's not only him. There's every one of our players is on the ground. How is that acceptable? For every single player to be on the ground and what their player get a free header. It's not even a difficult header because he's just boom into the corner, 1-0, and Everton have been undone again. Help me out, Baz. Come on.
I don't know what to say to you. He's a centre back that doesn't want to go and hit the ball. So you can blame everybody else who doesn't get off the floor, but he's the fella closest to Kurt Zuma, heads the ball. People talk about zonal. We played against the team last night who played zonal,
Guardiola uses zonal,
and they just literally attack every ball.
That's personnel though, isn't it?
It's personnel.
Yeah.
It's personnel. If we'd have had Virgil van Dijk in our centre backs last
It would have
night,
been a different story.
or Mendy, or he'd have gone and won the ball.
Yeah, I mean it.
For lack of aggression, that is just unacceptable.
It is
In the back line.
and I honestly,
defenders would defend that.
I honestly don't know whether, and I can't say it because we don't do it, but if he went man to man, it'd make much difference. Because if you're not going to go and win the ball, just because you're picking a man up, why would you go and win it anyway?
He doesn't jump anyway.
That was the thing for me. If you stay in a zone, someone runs in behind you, or whatever, you can maybe go, well, you can make excuses, but they're not reacting. Coleman and Richarlison on Saturday stood still and let Raul Jimenez run into an area and headed in. Why? If he's running, why aren't you doing anything? Last night, it wasn't even that. Wolves' free kick was better than that one was last night.
Yeah, it was,
That was just a floated ball in, and Zuma gets the wrong side. And fella just plants it.
To be fair,
if he jumps as well, then Laporte's thinking he might clatter me. He might close his eyes and it might loop. But he doesn't. He stays in standing and just goes, oh, go on then. How many times in footy have you jumped or someone's jumped in front of you? You can't help but close your eyes.
Yeah, exactly.
And sometimes it's 50 pence
That's
off your head.
It's just too easy.
Well, it's got. I don't think. I mean, Gomez is there as well. He should do a lot better. I mean, the way I always.
His job as a centre is to go and win
exactly,
the ball.
and this is what But the way I always got taught about it when I was playing was, you would have one in front and one behind you. You have a screen, and you have the one behind. You can see what's going on, and we just don't react to anything. Zuma there. If Zuma gets up as soon as that ball's in the air, Zuma should be up in the air, and if he doesn't win it, at least Laporte can't see it, or he's getting pushed. He's getting a little push in the back, or Gomez is leaning on him. It's that lack of aggression. It's that why has he got a free header in terms of, and it happened on Saturday. There's no one even there. You know, the centre back should be there leaning into him at least. If you lean into, if I go to header and I lean into you, it's going to go bump over there. It's the lack of just. I mean, this is why it's bigger than just what we're playing. It's bigger than that. It's the aggression from the defenders to say, I'm going to win this. I am going to win this. And that's why, I mean, I don't, listen.
That's where you need a leader.
That's where you need a leader. I don't know whether, I don't know whether Mina will be that player. Yeah. But this is where you need sometimes you just need a big shit house at the back to just take someone out.
Well, you made the Gary Cahill shout on that.
Well, Gary Cahill would have, you know, Jag Yelko would have done it at times. Not sure he would do it now. You know,
what did Carragher do anything on this the other night? Or
I didn't see it.
I don't think he did, you know.
Didn't he?
He said he was going to do
it.
But Carragher's a perfect example of a player who
can't take responsibility
and say, I'm having that. I'm having that. And
I don't care what you're doing.
Well, it's context though, Joe. It's the idea of going into training every day, and you don't just do that when you're on the pitch. You do that in training. You say to the manager, right, put me in a position where I can affect this. When Moyes was the manager, he understood corners, right? Most corners come in flat, right? Come in flat. Moyes used to put Lee Carsley near post and used to say to Lee Carsley, just win it at the source. So every ball would come into the box and Lee Carsley just boom them out, didn't he? All the time it happened. Because Moyes, they probably studied the videos and gone, how many corners come in, right? Well, they know they come in high. We've got centre-backs who'll deal with them all day long. So let's cut it out at the source. Lee Carsley near post, zonal, bang, every time it worked. But that's because he had centre-backs he didn't have to worry about. But it needs someone to be in training and say, I'm going to deal with this for your boss. Put me in an area where I'm almost not marking anyone and I'm not zonally marking, and I'll go and I will find that ball for you. But we don't have anyone. We don't have anyone who no one in our team likes to defend. John Joe Kenny, I think I might actually like defending.
The lads love a fight.
He looks up for it. He's not asked actually about attacking and stuff like that. He wants to defend. He wants to fight. He wants to get into people. But I don't think we've got any of our sense. I don't know about Mina because I've not seen enough of him. But I want to see someone who's like, I'll fucking die not to concede. If we win 5-1 and we concede, I'm going home unhappy. That's what I want. And I'm not sure we've got anyone at the club. And sometimes those players don't have to be the most elegant players in the world or anything. They just need to be someone who wants it. And it's been a while since we've had that kind of player. You know, I don't know. Distance character was a bit like that. But it's almost like that. It's building a partnership as well and going, this is our job. If we don't concede, that's as good as scoring because I know he's good. That's why fucking Lukaku used to always be fuming. Be like, I've just scored this goal, that goal, and you're letting these in. No.
This whole Williams Lukaku thing at Old Trafford.
It is. It's that idea of do your fucking job. I mean, Williams was probably right that day, saying, well, hang on, what have you done for me lately?
Exactly.
But it's that idea of taking pride, like not.
Like isn't it?
You know, if a goal goes in like that,
you want a reaction.
If you know, if I'm any player on that pitch,
you're bollocking,
and I know that was Kurt Zuma's,
you go up to him,
what the fuck were you doing? What are you doing? You've got one job. I don't care if I'm upsetting him. I don't care. I'm going, you've got one job and that's your job. But then at the moment, I think the big problem with Everton is that
the heads drop.
Who have you got to do that? Because that the problem is that nobody's doing a good enough job to turn around and probably take that responsibility. And that's where you need more leaders. That's where you need a captain. That's where
That's where you need.
That's where we are at the moment. But that's where we are at the moment. There's no, and I don't like what the manager said after the match. I don't.
Don't you?
I don't. No, I don't. I don't like. He's basically shit out of the question for me. Well, I think he has. I think he's shit out the question. I'm sick of.
I think he's trying to get worries away from the fans.
The worries there. We've conceded more goals in the Premier League than any other team. We're not blind. I know what I want. The manager saying, if this is not on now, and they're going to know it. No, stop talking about it like it's not happening. It is happening. I'm watching it.
Like it was
Bazzi, for me, did, and a lot of fans will interpret that. I can see what's happening, right? And it's in that's the difference. That's the difference between winning and losing in some games is our set pieces. And I want the manager to be strong and address and go, I've had enough of this now. I've had enough of it.
I think he does recognise it.
Of course he does.
But I don't accept that. I don't accept that as a fan. I don't accept that he
What
bats
do you want
off.
to say then?
I wanted to say that I don't want. He battered off the pressman there by going, "What? Stop talking about it. Stop talking about it." No.
Isn't that saying I'll deal with this?
We say it then. Say I will deal with this. I will get to the bottom of this.
Yeah, but he'll look like a tit next week.
Why really?
Yeah.
Why?
You know what I mean?
But he'll look like a tit anyway because he can't set up a team. The proof is in the pudding at every club he's been at.
So if he go, look,
That's
it is,
personnel,
well,
though, it
it's, well, it's not.
In the
that's
Premier
not
League,
him.
it's
No,
not.
that's not
Premier
him.
League.
So it's not him.
No,
so
no,
three
no,
teams.
it's not.
So
No, it's
three,
not personnel. That's personnel.
three teams
Well,
and three teams and
yeah.
No, it's him.
Hull players are shite.
Doesn't
Watford
matter,
players
Joe.
are shite and the Everton players
Well,
are shite.
he had the.
Three of them are shite.
So
3 teams.
no, I'm sorry, Joe.
Personnel shit.
So he's the manager. He's been the manager of 3 teams.
Yeah.
So what's the?
No, all the
sorry.
personnel
No.
terrible.
Well,
Yeah,
so-
it's not the players to do it, Pet.
So is it?
It's
So
not
is
the
it?
players to do zonal marking.
Nonsense.
So is it zonal?
What?
So zonal's the problem.
No, it's working hard. It's putting.
So how do you know? You're not at Finch Farm. How do you know he's not working out?
Why are you? Why is he not? So I can see it on the pitch, right? I can see
We
it.
all can see it.
Exactly. So I don't want the manager to come out and say, "Oh, stop talking about it," like almost like stop making a big deal of it. It is a big deal. Address it. Address the elephant in the room.
What could he have said? He did address it. He's addressed it. The weekend, he addressed it at Millwall. He addressed it. So what could he have said that would have made it? If he goes, fucking Zuma's fault. He's a joke. Me and his
He's not going to say that, is he?
Huge
He's not going to say that, is he?
exactly.
But what you want is you want leadership. He's your manager, not to hide.
Honestly, you can't.
Like that's the way. As a fan, that's the way I think. It's not as a fan.
Well, we're all fans.
No,
so we'll all interpret it the way.
But I don't want him hiding. This is what I'm saying. For me, he's hid last night. He's gone. It's a major part of the game that is being overlooked. We're terrible. We're terrible at not only at defending set pieces, but also using set pieces. And know what it might be? It might be in set training that our players can't put corners in for our defenders to fucking. That might be the big problem.
I'm not disagreeing. We are. If I sat here and went, we're not terrible at it, then you.
No, I know.
But I think the system's fine.
Nuts.
I think the system's alright.
We're shocking attacking wise, and we're horrendous defending it. Although we defended most of the corners quite well last night, other than the very first one, when again fucking Zuma didn't jump. But I don't know what you want him to say last night, other than if he'd have said yeah or no.
I want him to answer the question, not bat it away.
He said yeah or no.
He went, we're not talking about it.
And then he answered the question.
We're not talking about it because it's almost...
Yeah, but he actually answered the question.
He doesn't answer it though, he just bats it away. It's his responsibility as a manager to get to the bottom of this, right?
You know,
and there's no point, it's costing us every single game.
I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm saying to you, I honestly don't think he would have given you an answer that you would have been happy with.
It's not about giving me it's about batting away.
He could have said anything.
He's batting it away though. He's not, for me, he's not taking responsibility.
I don't hear any manager take responsibility.
That's fine, I don't care about other managers. I care about this team and this manager. And I want him to take responsibility and come out and say, whatever, but it just, I don't like that of, we're like, almost like, it doesn't, we said about the other day, you're talking to the fans.
No, I know.
You're talking to the fans.
He still did answer the question. He said, I will speak to it. What I say in private will remain in private. So, if he'd have just gone, I'm not talking about it. But he answered
He basically did.
He didn't.
He did. He basically said, you're like...
Did he answer?
I thought he answered the question.
He didn't answer the question. He was having none of it. And that to me is he's not in the...
He goes away and he works on that.
But he's not working on it. He's not working.
He is, Ped. Come on, he's working on it. It's a personnel issue. That's what it is. The system is fine. The system's fine.
It's not fine, no.
The zonal marking system's
fine, no.
It's all right. The zonal marking system.
Joe, you're making yourself look very silly here. It's not fine.
No, I think what Joe's saying is zonal marking
is fine.
It's fine.
Yeah.
The best. You've just seen the team.
Guardiola have just used it. The personnel's
the team at the best.
Because he's got the personnel.
Yeah, I've just said
no.
We need personnel, and you just said
no, but we haven't got
all the fucking Watford.
No, we haven't got the personnel.
Yeah, exactly.
So if you haven't got the personnel, no, Joe.
The system's fine.
No. If you haven't got the personnel, right, then you have to look.
No, he has a philosophy. This manager has a philosophy. That's why we've appointed him.
So why did we? So
we appointed him.
So what happened to the philosophy last night?
It was still there.
It wasn't.
That's his philosophy.
No, it's not.
He ain't going to change it.
Why
should he change? Why should he go man to man?
Whoa. No. The philosophy wasn't there last night, right? Because
Markham was there last night.
No. The philosophy wasn't there last night, because if the philosophy was there last night, we would have just passed it round and tried to outpass City.
No,
we changed our tactics last night against Man City.
It didn't change zonal marking.
It doesn't matter. You can't play something if it doesn't. You have to change. So last night we changed the way we played because we knew that we would get dicked by Man City. We tried to take them on, so we changed.
Didn't change our set piece routine.
So maybe we should have.
Why?
Because we've conceded more goals in the Premier League.
The manager likes
go man to man.
Well, then the manager ultimately will get.
What would you have done then?
The manager will get. The manager will get the sack ultimately. The manager will get the sack.
Well,
ultimately.
if he gets the sack, he gets the
so
sack. So
it's on him. So if he doesn't,
his system.
So he'll get the sack.
The hierarchy have approved that.
He'll get the sack.
Yeah.
He'll get the sack. It's as simple as that. Mahrez got to two semi-finals, but because he couldn't defend, he got the sack. Because ultimately, if you can't keep clean sheets,
but Silva could argue you and say I ain't got the players to play that zone.
Well, then don't play it then.
Why?
Because
philosophy.
It doesn't. Well, but then you'll get sacked.
But he might not have the players to play.
He'll get sacked. He'll get sacked.
He might not have the players to play man-to-man.
I'm not saying man-to-man to win. It's not about. It's not about. It's about doing something different.
What would you have changed then?
You know what I'd do straight away? I'd put a wall in front of every single free kick.
Okay.
Straight away.
Yeah.
Straight away now.
And then he hits it over the wall.
No, they hit it over the wall. Yeah. Then they'd have to change the trajectory of it.
So you're saying we need a leader to head the ball out.
I'm telling you what we need. So you have to change something then.
That ball would have still come in with a ball the way it came in.
I just don't know what you changed.
But you have to change something. Otherwise, he's going to get.
Put a ball. Then
he's going to get the sack. It's as simple as that. If he keeps doing this, right? We keep conceding this many goals. He's going to get the sack.
Right. Just let me play devil's advocate, right? Because you think obviously I don't know what you think. What
I don't think it's the manager's fault at all.
But say he's in every single day in training, and these players are superb every single day in training.
They go on the game on the Saturday.
Start on the Saturday.
Yeah. That's all that matters then.
So what?
So what do you want him to do?
That's all that matters.
What do you want him to do then?
That's all that
I don't know what.
That's all that matters. What happens on the pitch is all that happens. All that matters. So he's got to.
But if it's working well in training, Pez, he's got to.
But it's not working well on the pitch. So therefore, as a manager, you have to say.
So what's he do then?
Well, then you have to. If it doesn't matter what happens on the training pitch, because you're playing with the same people and you don't have the same aggression, so he has got to look for something different. I'm not saying scrap zonal marking. I'm not saying zonal marking is the problem. You've got to look for little things that can change.
So the little thing might be when Nina's back, Zuma's out.
It could be saying to the goalkeeper, stand 5 feet off your line. And start coming out.
So you want to adjust the zonal mark, just adjust it?
No, he's got to change something. Otherwise, he's going to be sacked. Because you can't rely on players. You can't. Because you've just said it yourself.
Man City relied on their players.
Because they've got the best players in the world.
Isn't that where we're trying to get to though?
But we're not going to get there. But Joe, you can't. Right? How can you get from being 11?
Yeah, but it's going to take time, Ped. He's going to keep doing this system. He ain't going to change the system.
But then he ain't going to be Everton manager.
Why?
Because he's not.
Why can't we just give him patience? He's only been in the job for 7 months.
You can't. I think. Right.
All right. Let me answer this question.
I think what Ped's trying to say. Wait.
So Everton. No. Let me answer the question. No.
Shut up.
Right. Let me answer this question. Let me ask you this question. Right. Let me ask you this question.
Yeah.
So, if this team, right, this Everton team, is this Everton team capable of getting to where Man City are?
Not currently.
So what do you mean not currently?
Not currently.
Are any of these players?
No.
Are any of these? If we were to get top of the league with any of these players in this team? No. If we were to get top of the league, which Man City are, right?
Yeah.
If we were to get top of the league, would any of the players in the Everton team that are currently in it be in that team?
No.
No, exactly. So what's the point?
The point is that you progress.
But what's the point in progressing when you're not
after
progressing?
3 years, transfer window after transfer window.
But none of these players are good enough to play the way he wants to play.
Who's to say Marco Silva doesn't sign a centre back in the summer? That's your leader that you want.
But that's fine. But that's fine for then. But at the moment, when you really need to dig in and win points because you're looking over your shoulder, the only way you'll progress is if you get like Europe. The only way we'll get Europe this season. If we toughen up and get through games of football.
Yeah.
We're not going to win games of football well enough to finish 7th. Progression has to actually start with wins.
Yeah, but
right?
We conceded that goal because of Kurt Zouma.
No, we didn't. Right? We didn't concede it just because of Kurt Zouma. We conceded it because we give away a stupid free kick, right, for a start. With a start, that's one thing, right? And then the ball comes in, and it's not just Kurt Zouma. It's all of them. You can't, because what Kurt Zouma did last night is what Seamus Coleman did on Saturday, and what other players, all of the players did. So
you improve on them players, don't you?
But you can't. I know, but this is the point.
It's all about taking responsibility.
You can't improve players, right? If you're not going anywhere.
But he's going to change this personnel, isn't he? That's the whole point.
But how are you going to attract players if you're not actually going somewhere? That's what I'm saying.
We're never going to go anywhere this season anyway.
If players don't get better, if I don't see are you seeing signs of any of our players being better this season?
Better than Allardyce?
Yeah. Honestly?
Yeah, of course, yeah.
But I don't.
The footies, do you enjoy the footy?
No.
Oh, really? Okay.
No, I don't.
So you'd rather watch Allardyce?
No, but I don't compare it with Allardyce.
Why not? Because that's what you got to compare it to.
No, I don't. I don't.
agree with you, Joe.
No.
I don't find the footy any better.
It's fucking well better, Pet. I don't know
Well,
what
that's fair enough, then.
It's not better.
It's well better.
It's not.
It is.
It's not.
Yes, we score more goals.
We don't score more goals.
We do.
We don't.
Got more points, scored more goals.
We don't score more
Got
goals.
more points than last season.
We've got about 2 points more than we had last season.
Right.
So
I enjoy it more than Allardyce.
Score more goals.
I enjoy more than Allardyce, but Allardyce is not my benchmark. Allardyce was brought in.
What's your benchmark then, Pet? Because we're in shy for 20 years.
Well, it's not. Martinez was the first season was some of the best football I've seen for a while.
Fair enough. Same.
Moyes was consistently every year was good football. Allardyce was brought in just to stop us being relegated, so I have no problem with what he did, apart from towards the end where he decided to put up shop. But I don't really enjoy.
Ronald Koeman and Allardyce fucked this club massively.
No.
So we've got to get
some of the games Koeman played were good.
They put us back 5 years though.
I think where we are, right, I think the problem is where we are is we're all confused. And that's the top and bottom of it. We've got a thing in our mind what we want to see. What we want to see, we aren't producing. We're not capable of it. Last year we had a manager who wouldn't get done with free kicks, really, in corners.
Put it this way,
he had no
Yeah.
ability to do what this manager does. Now we've got a manager.
But I'm not sure this manager will take us any further. I'm just saying. I don't know.
That's fine.
I don't know if he will. The football might be better.
I don't
genuinely. But I don't know if it'll get us any further.
I don't know if he will.
Because of the set piece.
I don't know if he'll. Even if he sorted the set piece, I don't know if he'll get us any further. None of us know, and that's the point. I've seen people tweeting, give Arteta the job now, and you're like, a fella who would never manage the football club come into the... Ideally and romantically, Arteta and Cahill, fucking boss, and Jack, absolutely boss, to see those two in our dugout, because they give us great times, good time, not great times, but good times, and they were the heart, and everyone loved them.
Yeah.
But are they capable of doing anything with this? No one. What's bugging me is that the difficult thing I look at is we don't know what he's doing on the training ground.
No,
so for every day, he could be doing 3 hours, and they could be absolutely brilliant, right? Change it at the weekend, then what? How do we change it? Because this wasn't a discussion between October and December.
No.
But now it is. So there's a problem now.
Yeah.
Quite clearly, there's a problem, and we can't keep doing what we're doing. But I don't know whether it's him, whether it's zonal. I don't believe it's zonal, but it might be because these players might just be thick and don't know how to defend.
Yeah.
The reality is we don't know how to defend. So it doesn't matter if it comes from the manager or the coaching staff. It's the lads who've got the shirt on.
Of course,
they don't take responsibility. Not one of them. Yeah. So I don't know how you fix
and
that.
They're ultimately getting the manager sacked, aren't they?
Well, if he can do something to change it that helps, and he doesn't do it, then he's negligible and he deserves to be booted out the club.
But I'd like to believe that he is, boss. That's what I think.
Well, I just don't believe he's not going. Now we've let a set piece in, but it doesn't matter. Keep.
But we know though. What we do know, but what we do know though, we do know that some managers don't work on things. We watched Martinez long enough to know.
No, I know, but
so you've got it.
But I believe these do. But I don't know
what you're told, Baz, the Finch Farm morale is good. They all like him.
But listen, that doesn't matter really.
You know what? They shouldn't like him. Managers are not there.
Like working with him, don't they?
Managers are not necessarily there to be liked. They're there
to get results.
They're there to get results.
That's the end.
That's the end of it.
Yeah,
and and a good manager will find a way. That's what I'm saying. They will find a way. They will do something that negates whatever the weakness is.
I just think
whether you want to work on it, and how hard you want to work on it, and how much you want to work on it. And I don't see on the pitch with my own eyes that they are working hard enough to eradicate these problems. I just don't see it. And until you do, if that lad jumps up last night and he gets a header and Zuma's into him, and there's a few other players, then you can say, well, he jumped and the lad was out jumping him. But the fact that he never got off the ground and is concentrating on something that's worrying. That's worrying for me. That's worrying. And personnel is a key problem, of course it is. Yeah. You have to bring in somebody who can stop that. But you also have to have a general sense that it's getting better all over.
What happened with, they conceded 21 from set pieces?
No, I agree.
No, but I'm saying
there was a change
set pieces, right? So how's it got better for them?
Well, he brought in Van Dijk, and he's helped.
That was year 3.
That's personnel, though.
Not year 6 months.
But that's the difference with them is, though, they weren't losing games off the back of it. They were having ding-dongs.
I'm not thinking, I'm not going to see. What I'm saying is, it's like how you get to that. I agree with
wait,
we can't, listen,
hopefully when we have the 3...
Fucking Millwall, bloody Wolves, Man City, before that it was fucking Lincoln. You can't keep doing it. I agree. I totally agree. Something isn't right. But I don't lay it, people do lay it all at Silver. I don't. No. I lay it at, there's obviously, for me, it's a 50-50 split. The coaching staff need to do stuff. If Kurt Zuma, and I'm just using him because last night he left this fella, if he can't mark off it and do the job, get him out the team. Get someone in. But unfortunately, Mean is injured. If it's Michael Keane, get him out the team.
Yeah.
Well, we've had chances. We had the chance to go 3 at the back of the
that's where
the manager didn't do it. So there, straight away, you can say the manager had a chance to do something. We went to Burnley knowing what they were going to do, and we put 3 at the back, and it worked most of the time in that game. So there you go. So there's the manager. There's the manager for me, not taking responsibility. Sometimes you've got to change your philosophy. He changed his philosophy that day. So you've got to look at it and say, you've got to do that more often. You're the manager. People will say, no one will go, you change your philosophy and you're knobhead. And you go, yeah, but we won some games. They will never say that. They will say, nice one. People from last night are saying, wasn't it nice to see people go out there and get stuck in and have a go? No one's going, well, I'd love to have seen us try and pass Man City off the park.
Some do.
Well, it wouldn't have happened, would it? Because they would have cut us open. You've got to play each game for what it is. And you can't. This was what we ended up hating Martinez for, was the idea that you go into games going, no, today we're capable of beating these, but we've got to go out there and do whatever it takes.
We were 3 years in when we were
exactly, but that's what I'm saying. I'm not having a go. This is not about the manager. This is about.
It's about all.
It's about the manager getting better. It's about
them. Take responsibility.
It's about all of them. No, it is.
Yeah.
But
that's the thing.
But like you've already said it, players will come and go.
Yeah.
So and the philosophy is the right thing.
Right.
But that's the thing. If the manager,
if he can't stop them leaking goals, though, then ultimately it will cost them his job, because we can't win games of football if you can't keep clean. If every time you give a free kick away, it's more or less a goal, that's an issue, isn't it? Because players are gonna do what Garner did last night on the edge of our box and dive in for no reason.
An opposition players are going to jump, are going to fall over. Every opportunity they get, they're going to fall over. They're not stupid. They know that it's a weapon now against us.
I mean, Guardiola said last night, which people picked up on him and made up with, is that Arteta works on free kicks with him, which is, but who's to say Everton aren't doing it? That's my thing. Yeah. I've heard no one say anything contrary to the fact that they don't work on it. Yeah. So
I think he does work on it.
But then he needs to work harder. Yeah.
He needs to work harder.
And then players need to.
And you know what? If those players come off the pitch and go, I hate this manager because he makes us do.
Well, so what?
They're so good.
Yeah.
Because that's what you want. I don't want the manager.
First thing I'd do when Mina's back is go 3 at the back. Play John Joe Kenny, right, Luca Dean left, and then let your midfield sort of, and just go, look, fuck it, we're going up there, or even one with a split.
Well, that's what
we're going up there. This is how we're playing to the end of the season, because you can't play in a 4 because we can't defend fucking set pieces. If he does that, most of the fans will probably look and go, fair play.
He's trying to change it.
Fair play's having a go at trying to keep it out the net.
It's the reason why
players have to take responsibility.
It's like the emergency powers. It's like in the last minute of a game when you're winning and you bring on the third centre back. You know what I mean? It's that idea of doing it. It's that idea of doing that for the entire game.
He's done that though, hasn't he?
No, what I mean is, it's the idea of doing that for the entire game. Yeah, it's the idea of going, well, we know what they're going to do. They're just going to start pumping it into the box. So we need to. So it's that idea of saying, well, you know you have to change something. That's what I'm saying. It's the idea of going, we have to change something, even if it's for this small period of window where you go, we're going to put three at the back and we're going to get our confidence back, and then we'll. The problem with the Premier League is it's relentless. It doesn't give you time to work on anything. And I still think, looking at who we brought in the summer, if people had had a pre-season, a proper pre-season, then we wouldn't have many of these problems, because the manager would have got time to bed all this in pre-season. It's difficult to go from, and maybe that's what the next 2 weeks, fucking hell, for 2 weeks, take them on fucking set-piece camp or something. take them to fucking
get Allardyce in
for 2 weeks.
Moyes is a defence.
For a little consultation thing, and just do it every day for fucking 2 weeks, and just work the bollocks off.
He's got to give himself the opportunity to build something, but he's only going to get the time by getting results, isn't he? And I think that's the issue, is that he knows what he wants, I think, but if he keeps conceding goals this way,
the problem with those
we're
goals,
giving ourselves no opportunity.
Exactly.
We're playing a team at the weekend who I don't believe are going to cut through us. Not at all.
They might bully us, though.
But they'll bully us and they'll get free kicks.
They're
and
cute.
they'll put balls.
They're cute.
Troy Deeney's already said he's
they're cute. They'll get the running at us. He'll fall over at every up. Don't tell him. Get within crossing area, and if you don't think anything's happening, you fall over. Bang, back post. Troy Deeney will fancy himself all day, and that's already in their heads. And that's what I'm saying about just something's got to click eventually. Anyway,
where were we? So second half.
I mean, second half we're 1-0 down again. I mean, come out. We've had a little run round. What did you make of the subs? Because I really thought the Gylfi Sigurdsson sub was a strange one. I understand what the manager's saying. He wants a little bit more craft on the pitch, but by bringing Gylfi on and pushing Tom back into deeper midfield, I thought that just allowed City a little bit of breathing room up and to get off the pitch a little bit, and with their centre backs being such a key part of how they start moves, I thought giving them more time on the ball just didn't really help us.
What I'd have done was just done a straight swap. I understand why he brought him on, because it's that moment where Gylfi could produce something. It's 1-0. And they weren't taking the game away from us. It was just 1-0, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So I understood why he brought him on, but I wouldn't have moved Davis.
No.
I'd have put him where Gomez was and said to Gylfi, get on the ball, and look, you've got a runner now in Dominic Calvert-Lewin. You've got someone who wants to turn there. Quarterback will drive it, do whatever, or thread it through, because they were open a few times, thread it through. And he didn't, he mixed that, so he kind of reduced Tom's influence in the game.
Yeah.
And Gylfi never got into the game.
Yeah.
He didn't get, there was one edge of the box where he could have hit it and he hesitated and tried to turn back.
I don't remember Gylfi Sigurdsson doing
anything.
Doing anything.
And that was a disappointment, I think. I was amazed he took Bernard off.
He always does it.
I honestly couldn't believe it.
What have I always said to you? 70 minutes he brings him off. He's a guy who can unlock the game. You've got to leave him on the pitch.
It was bizarre, that substitution.
I understand why
I understood why he brought the Charleston on. No issue with that, but
because I went for the two. Because I went for the two up front.
I'd have took Walcott off and swapped Bernard over. I'd have just gone to Bernard, go on the right hand side now.
Yeah.
And we'll have Richarlison, we'll have Dom who's making the runs. And then if he's looking and going, we need another centre forward here, then take Bernard off and mix it or whatever.
I think he showed his hand far too early.
Yeah.
For me, making that.
I just wouldn't have changed the Davis thing, because Davis,
he was
pressing from, he's pressing from the front, so their centre backs never really had loads of time on the ball. Don't forget, they changed their formation in the first half. They pushed John Stones into midfield for 15 minutes to try and get a grip of it, and he couldn't.
Yeah.
And he dropped back into defence again because it didn't really alter the game. Tom Davis was a bloody nuisance. You had him and you had Dominic Calvert-Lewin. They were a thorn in their side, and then you're right, when he pushed him back, because Gylfi isn't as mobile, they just stepped out with the ball, and then we got a little bit further back. And although they didn't really create much, they just had a lot of the ball, didn't they? Yeah. So I think, I understand.
I'd have brought James McCarthy on.
Yeah, well, that was one of the ones.
For half an hour left.
Just
for half an hour left of the game.
Him and Davis doing
that. If you're going to give him a chance, it was almost like a freebie for him last night. Yeah, come on, and had an half an hour run out, and got in and got stuck in.
Even 20 minutes,
and keep Tom up front. And I thought we let them off. I thought we showed that hand far too quick, and then the other subs, Tolson really never made it. He had one where
got a great chance.
He just wasn't fast enough. He just hasn't got the legs. That showed how lacking in pace he is.
But he put 1-3 for the Charles.
Fucking shite as well.
I don't know. Why did he
first thing, bang, it's on the floor, and the fans are just like, no, we don't want to see that. They brought Kevin De Bruyne on, I think it was, and he waits till he gets right on the edge of the box and then gets the foul, and that's
you got to be more intelligent.
That's the difference.
Yeah.
But anyone moaning about the two teams, I mean, they're 3 subs.
Yeah. Oh my God.
50 million, 30 million.
Yeah.
It was worth 130 million.
We had Snarling on the bench.
And we had our team wasn't even worth 100 million who started.
Yeah.
And their 3 subs were worth more than our team. Plus, they had record signing £75 million Mahrez who didn't even get on the pitch.
Yeah.
So it shows you the gulf in class between the two sides. But we stuck to the task, you know. We got into injury time. I mean, that
every time they went down, all they had to do was go down.
Fernandinho 7 fouls before he got booked. Kurt Zuma 1 challenge on Jesus, which was nothing. The card came up. Laporte nearly breaks Walcott's back. Nothing.
It's a bad
class. But what they're brilliant at City is they refereed the game. Fernandinho refereed the game. They're around the ref. That one
when he went down was brilliant.
Ederson was out and he was going to free kick, and they were all around the referees going.
What they were doing was they were almost taking. They were almost getting around the ref and making him lose focus on what had happened, and almost trying to get him to forget about the incident. And it was almost like a fucking Jedi mind trick.
And then he didn't get booked.
It's like knowing you're in playing PES and you're waiting for the screen.
We
got away with that one.
The balls.
It's just like he was like trying to almost like. I imagine for the ref, he has to. When something like that happens, he has to almost play back the incident in his head to remember if it was a foul or not. And if you're talking to him all the time, he hasn't got time.
Well, Ederson was going, it's our ball, our free kick, isn't it? And Aguero was like, that's a line and then Aguero's like, no,
so
it's
they're putting that doubt.
And they're putting that doubt
in the referee and the line.
That they're confident.
Did I see that right? And that's why where our players are just like, thank you, sir.
There was
and then walk away.
The referee, that was it.
Our play should have been over going,
they should have been all around them. And then the referee walking the ref.
That was terrible. He smashed them in the back, making it worse than what it is. So we're on the other hand there going, no, that was just coming together. Our play should be like, Steve, fucking elbow that. And the ref's going, was he? I mean, you've only got like 3 more months of this, so I mean, you know, that's the thing. Soon you won't be able to do that full stop. That for me, that just shows that there's not enough players. It's just thank you, sir.
Well, there was the one, when Fernandinho took Davis around the 5th time, right? And then he's in Davis's face, and Davis square, and our players are 5 yards. No one jumped in and went, "The fuck are you doing?" Nobody. Just left Davis on his own. I was like. Why is no one having a fucking go at it? I mean, I wish we had Fernandinho.
He's in any.
I've said to him, he's the metronome for them. He just keeps them ticking over.
As you mentioned the first time, I just watched him yesterday.
I was just watching the game. He just runs the game, mate. And he's
an ass as well, though.
Moan and whinging in the referee's ear, but he's superb.
We need someone like that.
But they all do it, and that's winners. That's what winners do. People will go, no, it's not important. It's
die for the shirt, isn't it? That's what it is.
It's like you just said, you're refereeing the game. You're getting decision. You're getting in the ref's face. The ref doesn't want to book you. He doesn't want to. Whatever.
She'll get an earful.
Fernandinho went through Davis, and never got booked for it. He should. Laporte should be getting booked straight away from that. It should be flagged. You've just gone through the back of him. Of course, you're lucky he's still on the pitch. 3 or 4 of them last night, and the fans are like, then the fans are like, well, how are you ever going to win a game of footy if you've got that much against you?
Don't get me wrong, the referee didn't cost us the game.
No,
it's just those little things where you look and go,
but
we've had you a few times now.
But the flip side of that is that you want your players to react because you feel like if they've got that fight in them, then they're going to have the fight in them for everything. So, City players and a lot of the teams that are at the top, I think people get this idea that teams at the top are soft because they're at the top, so they must just play football.
They're not.
They're at the top.
They take no shit from anyone. They get it because they dictate. They're all good at it. That's what you do. That's what you become. That's what you're always looking for threads to pull, you know, on the pitch and off the pitch, you know.
Yeah.
They did the other day, but we never got any decisions because the goal we scored was offside. What? You know, like, in your head, you're like thinking, what fucking logic's that?
Yeah.
But to them, they're like, that's how you get. Forget about talking about why we scored an offside goal. Use that in our favour to say why we got fucked in the... Oh, I only seen after the game, and when I watched it, I thought, oh, that's why we got off in the second half. And you're like, you're either mad or you're fucking genius, and that's the way it is. Whereas we're just like,
just take
which hole, sir?
Yeah. We just take our medicine.
No, what we do.
Yeah.
And people don't. I don't think people give that enough value in the game of how it is. It's that key moments are important in football.
No, what, right? Yeah. Okay, I'll go back to what I was saying before. No, in the fuck, he says to him, "Oh, these set pieces." I'd be like, "What set piece? That was never a foul. That was never a foul. That was never." Garner goes in, wins the ball. That was never a foul. Yeah, but fuck that. Do you know what I mean? Get Duncan Ferguson out and going, what foul? What foul?
Okay, hang on. Forget about that. What about that assault on Theo Walcott?
Again, that's what all the managers. That's what all the managers do. That's what I'm saying.
Just moan.
What foul? What? Wasn't even a foul. I'm talking about fouls. Well, he's nearly cut my player in half there. He's nearly cut my player in half.
Remember the Ferguson one? He could have killed him.
That's what I'm saying. No, that's what you do. You solve. You don't solve a problem, but you go. This is getting a joke now. You know what? Half the problem with conceding all these goals is because of all these set pieces. Never a set pieces.
People are diving.
You fucking get in. You make.
It's mind games.
You make the issue. Sometimes you need breathing room in football, and you create breathing.
Well, it's like this now. If he's clever, right? If he's clever now, Silva, if he is, or if someone at Everton, I mean, listen, they're obviously not intelligent enough, but if they were, they'd be saying to him, "Bring up Troy Deeney's comments." Today in the press conference, so go, well, we have to hope the referee's strong. We've heard Watford's side of it that they're gonna go, you know, they're gonna try and rough us up
before the game,
get in his head, and then Everton go back with Everton manager, you know, Marco Silva's saying Watford are going to rough their team up. Any tackle,
you say to all the players, Troy Deeney goes anywhere near you and physically touches you, you get down on that floor, and every other one of you gets in his face and go, you said you were going to do this. You said before ref, he said he was going to do this, and he's just done it. That's where we're not clever enough.
Because that you put it in
the planning before the game, aren't you?
Arsenal, I mean, go back to Andy Johnson with Arsene Wenger. He
Yeah.
goes down, he dives. We play Arsenal the day after. Johnson runs through, gets fucking side down, and the referee goes, no penalty. And then he never got another one.
That's why Richarlison's not getting any foul at the moment. Because the ref has just gone now. They've just gone, it's finished. And our fans are just like, will you just get up? Because he's not clever enough to know when to take a foul.
Where I would criticise Silva for that is, I would say to, if I was Silva, I'd sit in a thing and go, can I just talk about the treatment of Richarlison while we're all here? And if someone goes, well, so, you know, the lad is getting kicked
get the data.
And down.
Get the data.
Every single week he gets kicked, he's fouled 14th, booted up and down the pitch. And he was given 3 fouls in that game. Our evidence and data shows he was fouled 12 times. No one's going to go, oh, bring them out, Daddy. Everyone's just going to go, I know, Silva's unhappy at the treatment of the Richarlison.
No, get the data, go. First thing you do, press conference, but I've left the thing there for you on all your seats. That's how many times with Richarlison. Swing the conversation.
Buy yourself time, if anything. Silva.
Well, that's what he should be doing.
Martin bought himself time just by being a nice fella.
But that's bought himself years. People, someone like Alex Ferguson would go.
He'd be out there. Change the narrative. If he doesn't want to talk about, this is what I was saying about before. If you don't want to talk about set pieces, and that's the only thing we're talking about, right? Then change the narrative. Change the narrative to why are we getting so many free kicks against us when we don't get any free kicks down at the other end? You know, change the narrative. That's 2 free kicks we've conceded in the last minute of a half in exactly the same place in 2 games. You know, what's going on with the refs? That wouldn't happen if that was Richarlison. Richarlison wouldn't get that free kick. Here's the data. He gets kicked more times than anyone else in the Premier League. I've left a little sheet on you. Sky Sports News might go, oh, he's mad and he said this and he said that.
Yeah.
But if you don't want to talk about set pieces, number one, get it fixed, and number two, give people something else to talk about. Then, you know, whatever it is, whatever is going against us on the pitch, use that to your advantage, because that's the more you go into a press conference and say, I don't want to talk about set pieces, the more people are going to go,
well, that's the issue.
That's the issue.
Yeah.
So we're gonna. I know what's gonna happen. This is what happened to Mourinho. People will go to him. How come? Use a shit. But when you're 2-0 down, suddenly you're a boss.
Yeah.
I don't want to talk about that. It just becomes this fucking thing where they'll keep on. And do you know what?
English media.
You know what the press are like? They'll smell blood.
Yeah.
Because what sells stories is a club that has spent all that money, him getting sacked would sell loads of newspapers. He's a fraud, he spent this money, and that just keeps the circulation of press going. They're not going to just go, it's only Silva. They're going to go, slow news day today, what should we talk about? Let's talk about Silva. Who should we get in to talk about it?
Allardyce.
Get Sam Allardyce on the phone. He never conceded set piece. This is what I'm saying, he's got to help himself by either just addressing it or moving this, being clever enough to go, Richarlison's, want to see his leg? The other week when he got kicked, when he got elbowed, and even as fans, we were like, get up, lad. His fucking face was covered in blood. Yeah. I'd have brought him in, not like when a mother takes her son into school, going, have you seen what your son's done to mine? That's what I do with the child, because he is like his son, isn't he? Not biological, of course.
Do a duo press conference.
Yeah, just get him in with all like these crosses or like plasters all over his face going, yeah. So how was the game? Yeah, it was a bit of a tough one. Cast on his arm and everything.
I mean, how you know, realistically, you know, what if this carries on? Does he see the season on?
No, he'll get the sack
before the end of
the season. Do you think? Yeah.
Do you think?
No, he won't. But he deserves to.
Do you think? Yeah.
Because I can't. It's so basic. It's so basic. You could go and get a non-league League One player, and I bet you, alright, he might be absolutely shit. So if Millwall are throwing him into the box, then there's a problem. So
no, and I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
I'm not. The only bit I disagree with you was with how he answered the question. It's quite clearly an issue. It's quite clearly a problem, and you're right. If he can't solve that. Managers are there to solve problems. Yeah. If he can't solve what is a problem, whether he thinks it's a problem or not, everybody else thinks it's a problem. So he has to solve that.
To be fair, I don't want to be fully right on this because I'm bored of that. But you are right in terms of it might be a chance of it might just be a case of the manager and the director of football have looked at someone and gone, well, he will solve all the problems in the summer. But that's a fucking long way.
Still a long.
That's a long way to go.
We can't put it this way. We can't go another 12 games conceded.
But at the end of the day, though, if you really believe in a manager and really think he's going to take you to places, you've got to believe that he can eliminate that problem without the need to spend 60 million on a centre back. Sometimes that's what it takes, and that's what gets you there the quick way.
Yeah.
But Michele said he doesn't want to go there the quick way, quite evidently.
I just look at him and just think, I don't know whether he will go. He's not going to go to man, is he? Because he's never played it. So he's not going to. He's not going to change that. So therefore, it's how you solve what's going now. If those players, if we're in February and they're still not understanding it, why aren't they understanding it? And if they are understanding it and they're still not doing the job, get them out the team. James Coleman is out the team.
Good.
He's out the team because he's not playing well. Drag him out the team. If Zuma's not doing it, get him out the team. If Keane's not doing it, get him out the team.
Get Morgan Feeney in the team.
Take what the issue is, look at it, and get them out the side. And that's end the story. Like we've had last night, we've had Calvert-Lewin, John Joe Kenny, Tom Davis come in. They've set the bar for themselves. Forget everyone else. They've set that bar for themselves now.
That's where you've got to be now, isn't it?
That's what that effort is the minimum required. And the fans last night demonstrated that.
Fans were shooting.
After the second goal, it was amazing.
The fans demonstrated last night that, especially when that second goal went in.
Yeah, it was amazing.
That performance in their eyes was
acceptable.
Acceptable.
Of course.
Okay, it might not be the most creative, sparkling display in the world, but it showed that it's not always about what the result is. Yeah. It's about how you did on the pitch, and you appreciate that the team you're playing is a much better team, and that's what happened last night.
Does that not give you confidence in the manager saying that?
Listen, it's not about confidence in the manager. I'm not sitting here and having a go with the manager
because it was an acceptable performance, wasn't it? Considering who we were up
against. All I would say from that, right, is that Saturday, a lot of people give him a kicking, and fair enough, rightly so.
Yeah.
But if the players weren't with him, I don't think we'd have got that.
I think what was key last night was that he made changes. He brought in 3 young lads who have been, for the most part, sitting on the bench or in and out of the team. Yeah. And he put a lot on them to change it against the best team in the country. And they did that, and that's sometimes that's all it takes. Sometimes you can have all the players. Don't forget, right? You can have 11 of the best players out there, but it doesn't mean they're a team.
No.
And I think that's what the manager now, and it's what's really annoying is, and we've said this loads of times, is during the likes of Christmas and when he should have been swapping them around to keep everyone fresh, he never. And it's come.
That was a very busy period, that one. Yeah.
It's come to almost like its natural conclusion where you're like, we knew this was going to happen, because you can only flog them so long before you're going to have to change them anyway. So.
And I can understand them keeping the same team if you're winning all the time.
Oh yeah, I can. Yeah.
But we weren't. So that should have been that's where he's made errors. It should have been there and then.
I think it's natural for the manager to make errors, though. Learn from your mistakes.
That's the thing.
You've got to learn from them.
The thing.
You've got to learn from them.
You've got to give him time. That's my response to that.
You do have to give him time, but he also has to demonstrate that he's learning from his mistakes. That's the key. I'm all for
done through interviews as well, though, as Pep was saying before. Demonstrating that he is trying to change it.
Well, I've said this before. I've said it this week. He needs to do a sit down, him and Brands.
That's what I'm saying.
And explain what they're trying to do about things, what the vision is and where we're going.
Fans love that, don't they?
Yeah, but
fans will get on board with that.
I just telling them. His general tone just needs to be picked up a little bit.
Was he like that in his first press conference? Because if he was like that in his first press conference, that's just his personality. If he's changed, then maybe he's losing the plot. But if he's like that in his first press conference,
he's exactly
so then there's no issue then.
Quiet.
I mean, he is a bit uncharismatic, and that's probably my only concern with him.
I think he's guarded. I think they are. I think that's the way it is. I think he's guarded. I think he just comes out and does that. He's not like that with the players, I believe, behind the scenes and all that.
Do you think he doesn't realise he's talking to the fans?
I don't know.
But I think that's what
that's
what players, fans would like, maybe just to see the natural side of them. Then, do you know what I mean?
You want to see a connection, don't you?
That's what. Yeah. You're right. And maybe sometimes it's. Listen, if it's not in him, it's not in him. I don't want him to bullshit us. But if it is in him, and he just becomes very guarded in the media, bring it out a little bit. Just be a little bit.
That's where Everton can help, though, isn't it?
Be a little bit more relaxed.
That's where Everton can help.
Talking to him, really, shouldn't he?
Well, he should be doing stuff with him.
Just come on here. Got him a couch to sit on. It's a lovely couch. It smells lovely.
He'd love you.
He'd be arguing with him.
I would be arguing.
Explain to me.
I would be arguing.
Show me the cuts on your arm that you are.
I want to see the pain in his eyes. That he feel. I want to see it. I want to see the pain. Yeah. I want to believe.
Didn't make Guardiola's cardigan though.
No.
To be fair, the first question I'd ask him is, has he got a dog? And if the answer's no, then I know he hasn't got a soul. I just know that, because if he ain't, if he's not going home and getting the love of a dog, then there's no point. No point. It won't cure him.
Got his wife there, hasn't he?
A wife can only go so far. You need that. Hey boy. Hey boy, get on Red Dead. Well, he says it with the dogs as well. Get on. If he doesn't go home and strokes his dog and plays on Red Dead, then I don't know what he's doing with his life. Because officially that's what me. Well, you don't stroke a dog, but you've got Zach for that.
I love dogs. I don't love them. I like them.
I'm a cat person.
Yeah, well, that says it all, doesn't it? That says everything you need to know about this boy here, Joe and his cat.
Ped light.
Yeah, people need to stop calling me Ped.
You don't look.
I don't look at me. No, but it's always top comments every time on the final word.
That's the sweep.
It's always top comments.
That's the sweep.
No.
Mine's better though.
Anyway, Jesus scored in the 97th minute.
You look like Jimmy Neutron.
That was unlucky though.
I've had that one as well.
You do look like Jimmy Neutron. That was unlucky though, because Pickford made a good block first and it just went up.
I'm not asked. Let's finish now. We've been on for ages. I didn't particularly want to talk about that goal because it didn't mean anything. But in the last minute of the game, they were keeping the ball in the corner.
Rolling to the corner.
Game management. Yeah. Game management.
We did that when we were winning.
Game management, trying to win free kicks on the edge.
Yeah.
97th minute.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, well.
There you go. Let us know your thoughts in the comments. Do you think we're making too much of this? Do you think it's just another defeat? Or, you know, set pieces, where are you? Let us know. Let us know.
Not everyone will, no one will be happy with the set pieces.
No, but I'm just saying,
nobody should be happy with the set pieces.
No. The right to question it.
Let us know in the comments. If you haven't already subscribed, please do. Click the bell for alerts so you know when the video is coming out. And if you want to join us on Patreon, do it, because it's good. Very, very good. Thanks. We'll see you later.